This is the Cubs Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs Postcast here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Joe George here with you as the Cubs get the win 3-1 over the Pittsburgh Pirates. This episode's brought to you by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your first order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5-hour energy shots today. All right, we got a lot to get through in the show today. Well-executed small ball there in the 8th inning. Shota Imanaga, excellent. Brad Keller pitching the 9th inning, interesting. We'll discuss that. PCA success over the last 2 days, just getting on base a ton is a very positive sight to see. Kyle Tucker, 2 hits in this game, not the hardest contact in the world. And we'll briefly mention the lineup at the end as well, because even though the Cubs won, still a little bit confused about Owen Caissie. But we'll start with the good stuff, okay? The 8th inning, Kyle Tucker leadoff single to get this thing going. It's a 1-1 ball game. You've had opportunities in this game, and the Cubs had not, at that point, really not come through when you needed them to. A lot of first pitch outs earlier in the game, like in the bottom of the 6th here. Suzuki walks, PCA hit by pitch, or Suzuki singled. So you got first and second. Carson Kelly, foul out. Ian Happ, first pitch lineup. Nico Hoerner, ground out. So in this game, you've got an inning where the vibes have been what they've been. They're not good. But the 8th inning is where everything is totally different. Kyle Tucker gets a leadoff single and steals second base. Something that he's not had the opportunity a lot to do this year, or at least the recent, because he's getting out all the time. Seiya Suzuki gets the RBI single and advances to second. A great base running move for him there as well. So it's 2-1 Cubs. PCA comes to the plate. Again, he's been on base 6 times in this series coming up to this point, and he bunts Suzuki over. So they're playing small ball. Great. Like, that's what the Cubs need to be doing with the way things have been going lately. So you got a runner on third base with 1 out. Carson Kelly strikes out. Briefly on the Pirates here, why are you walking Ian Happ to get to Nico Hoerner? One of the strangest decisions I've ever seen, and the Cubs make him pay. If baseball teams are going to be stupid and do dumb things, you have to punish them for it, whether it's errors in the field or unwise pitching matchups or something like this where Nico Hoerner, who coming into this game, before this at-bat, is hitting .378 with runners in scoring position, and they choose to face face Nico Hoerner over Ian Happ, who gets an RBI single, and the Cubs have a 3-1 lead. So the game goes from tied to a 2-run lead in the 8th inning. Overall, just very well executed plan, and all of it was just positive for the Cubs there in the 8th inning. There's still a lot of bad innings 1 through 7 for the Cubs lineup. Absolutely. But for 1 inning and for 1 day, we got to hear the song. It's been nice. I've missed hearing the song at the end of games. But that's what the Cubs have to keep doing right now as they try to figure this thing out and try to turn the season back around to where you're not worried about falling out of the playoffs and you're now second in the wild card standings. To try to get this thing going, we've all been saying on this channel, whether it's me or the people in the YouTube comments or Sam and Matt's shows, like, it's so clear, like, play some small ball. Stop trying to rely on the home run. And we saw it yesterday. It failed with PCA overrunning the bag, but today it worked out perfectly. So I'm just glad that they need to start doing more of that. Even earlier in the game, the Cubs need to continue to be more and more aggressive. At this point, I would rather see the Cubs having guys thrown out on the base pass being overly aggressive than what their approach has been the last 2 months of the season. So well executed, well planned. Whoever's call it was for PCA to bunt, I think it was a great move there. If he just gets that thing a little over, he even would have been safe for even potentially more damage in this inning. So all of that, very, very good. And now let's get to our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
The Locked On Player of the Game today is Shota Imanaga. He was excellent again in this game. Comes out today for the Cubs. When you need a solid start from the best pitcher on your staff or one of the 2 best pitchers on your staff, 7 innings, only gives up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And he had a lot of opportunity to give up runs. There were guys on base. There was traffic out there. and he was able to find his way out of all the damage. Again, the pitching has not been the problem for the Cubs from the starters since the trade deadline. It's been the lineup. So Shota just continues rolling that. They showed the graphic on the screen that since July 1st, the Cubs have by almost a full run, the best ERA from their starters at home this season. So they continue to go out there and give the lineup a chance to win these games. And finally, the lineup did just enough. Still would have liked more, but did just enough to help him get the win. So he was awesome. Really, besides that splitter that he threw that sat at the top of the zone and was cranked out of the ballpark by Tommy Pham, he was all over the place with his command in this game. Just having full ability to the splitter, the fastball, all of it's working. And it is interesting to see where just the plan is for him. I still feel like he's not throwing the ball as hard on a regular basis for the Cubs, but his location, his last couple starts, to me is what really has stood out for Shota Imanaga. A couple questions here about Owen Caissie. Let's get right to it before we get to break and talk about PCA and then what happened there in the ninth inning, if it means something or maybe it's something else. Tracy says, where's Caissie? Larry says, why are they not playing Caissie? I don't know. I talked about this on yesterday's show, but to call him up and to have him play in his first game in Canada, really cool. He's from Canada, really cool moment. To not have him play in these first two games of the series, I'm baffled. I think it's a terrible idea. Why Owen Caissie is not in the lineup. If you're going to call him up, you might as well play him. If he's going to not play, you should keep him in the minors so he can keep getting regular at-bats. He was on fire in the minors. He had hit his 22nd home run on the day that he was called up, and instead the decision by this front office is to just sit him, and by the manager, whoever's decided it. We never know with baseball anymore. You don't know if Craig Counsell's making these lineups or a computer's making these lineups. Like, it's not the way it used to be, when Dusty was the manager, even when Joe Madden was the manager, like where it's just they're making a plan, they're going with it. They don't care what the computers say. These guys rely on computers. So I don't know why he's not out there. I agree with Kevin here. He should play for Hap every day. I would like to see him be out there in left field. Flat Earth Poker says Caissie is our secret weapon for the Brewers series. I mean, if you're not going to play him now, you're not going to play him in the Brewers series. So I just don't think we're going to see him be a regular part of this lineup. It's just a gut reaction at this point. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I was wrong that I thought Nicky Lopez was coming up. And then they called him up. They called up Owen. So I didn't think that we were going to see that happen. So maybe it's just 2 days and Owen will start playing more regularly. Maybe that'll start tomorrow as the Cubs will try to win the rubber match of this series. I said today was a must-win. Tomorrow's a must-win as well. You have to win this series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's not about the Brewers anymore. It's about the Mets. It's about the Dodgers. It's about the Padres. It's about the Reds. Those teams are all right around you, whether you're trying to get home field advantage in a 3-game series or trying to not make the playoffs. Like, those are the teams that you're focused in on now, not what's happening. So tomorrow is a must-win game for the Cubs before this 5-game series versus the Brewers. And frankly, I think having Owen Caissie out there would be a good decision, even in a must-win game, because I'm glad Ian Happ was lower in the lineup, but at this point, I'd rather see him out of the lineup than in it at this point. So, all right, we'll take our break here. We'll talk about what we saw from PCA over the last 2 days. Of all the guys that are struggling, probably the most encouragement goes to him and Seiya Suzuki. And we'll talk about Brad Keller pitching in the 9th inning over Daniel Palencia. That's all coming up next year on the Locked on Cubs postcast on the Locked on Cubs YouTube channel. It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making memories with friends, it's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. It does exclude the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Today's episode is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth. Whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments, and when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. And that's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let the financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. All right, PCA over the last two games, 6 times on base, hit twice, a walk in this one, and a couple hits, obviously, in yesterday's game. That's all very positive, all very, very positive for PCA. He's been struggling, but I think not even just the hits, it's the walks that you're seeing. That, and I know he got hit with 2 of them, so like they're not all are created equally, obviously. But the first one in this game, nice, just good to see him getting on base. And even though, again, yesterday's game was a disaster at the end for him, want to see more running, be more aggressive, use your speed as a weapon. When's the last time he's tried to steal third base? He hasn't been at second base a lot, so maybe that's part of the reason. But like where has that been? And then the bunt today, that he got it down, he executed it. So hitting the ball, getting on base, whether it's through walks or hit by pitches, bunting when you need to, something that a lot of times this year he hasn't done. He has not executed very well. Like all of that is positive for PCA. So that's very good. Seiya Suzuki, more than Kyle Tucker. I think Suzuki has started to, looks like he's just putting the ball on the bat a little bit better. Kyle Tucker is interesting because even on that last hit, it feels like when you're watching him, on that last at bat, if you go back and rewatch it, the first pitch he misses is not like on the corner of the other side of the plate. But Kyle Tucker looks like he is 3 feet away from it because the way he seems like he's just trying so hard to step and pull, almost in a way like you would see Ichiro do it back in the day, where like he's so far away from the opposite side of the plate. This part of the struggles that he's going through, I think that's why part of the reason why we're not seeing the hard contact for him. Yes, it's good that 2 of the hits got in today. That's very positive for Kyle Tucker, but it just feels odd. But Suzuki, it's just a feeling that he is putting the barrel on the ball a lot better right now. Hopefully for him, it's a sign to come to, because I feel like he's kind of gotten a pass in all this Kyle Tucker stuff. I feel like so much, and PCA, so much of the focus has been focused on those 2 guys that Suzuki and even Michael Busch's struggles at times have been ignored. So hopefully for Suzuki, this can be a sign of things to come, to where he doesn't need to be what he was before the All-Star break. It'd be awesome. I think it's a lot to ask right now. Even Kyle Tucker, what he was before most of the All-Star break. I don't think you need that. I think you just need to see a little, like, just slight improvement for the Cubs. And it showed today in the 8th inning that if those guys get on base, this is what we've been saying for a month now, that this team's going to go as far as Kyle Tucker can take it. And what happens in the 8th inning? He gets on, he steals second, they win the baseball game because Seiya Suzuki drives him in. He puts pressure on the bullpen pitcher, and the other guys pick him up, get him home, and the Cubs get the victory. Haven't seen anything yet from Craig Counsell. It's always kind of weird doing a live show. But it was interesting to see Keller come out and get the save in this game. He's been nails this year. Even Boog suggested in the broadcast there at the very end that, like, is this the changing of the guard? I'll be honest, that would shock me with the way Palencia's pitched this year. I know he gave up a home run yesterday. Now, maybe they feel a different way about Daniel Palencia than the numbers show, like 15 straight saves or whatever it was for him without blowing one. Yesterday's not even a blown save. But if they made this decision, regardless of it, 8 and 9, I think you feel good about right now for the Cubs. With the way Keller's pitching and the way Palencia is pitching, I think you should feel confident in them. So that is a positive for the Cubs and Kittredge too. I've really, besides that one outing that was a mess, his second outing for the Cubs, I mean, and then he had the immaculate inning, his next appearance. Kittredge has been really, really good on a consistent basis since he was traded for. So overall, like those are the positives of this game. Does it matter? We'll find out tomorrow because they've split series. They've got this split game here going into the rubber match a couple times now. They need to go out there and get a win tomorrow. And it's not going to be Andrew Heaney, it sounds like, which means it might be Paul Skeens pitching for the Pirates tomorrow. So it's going to get challenging. Yes, they got to him earlier this season. The Cubs hit 3 home runs off of him, but we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Hopefully Owen Caissie's in the lineup and the Cubs can get a series victory over the Pirates before this 5-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll be with you here tomorrow. We're going to do both post-game shows after the Brewers. So we'll be here with you on Monday after the day game and then Monday night as well for the day-night doubleheader. So thank you guys for watching. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Enjoy your Saturday,